It feels kind of crazy to say this, but Lionel Messi is playing in the 2026 World Cup. Most people thought 2022 was the perfect ending, with the trophy, the tears, the celebration, and the storybook finish in Qatar. But Messi's story isn't done yet. Now imagine this for a second. Winning back-to-back World Cups, ending your international career at the absolute peak, almost like something football almost never allows to happen. And honestly, this is what makes it so interesting. Argentina national football team isn't exactly the same team anymore. One of the main heroes of 2022, Angel Di Maria, is gone. Messi isn't in his prime like before. But the crazy part is they're still one of the strongest squads in the world, easily among the biggest contenders. Right now, Argentina are still ranked among the elite teams on the planet, and their World Cup path has become very real after the draw placed them in Group J with Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. And Messi is still doing ridiculous things. He recently hit his 900th career goal and came into this period after an insane 2025 season, winning the MLS Golden Boot with 29 goals in just 28 games. So yeah, he's still that guy. Maybe not 100% of his old 2022 self, but easily 85%. And that is still terrifying. So the real question isn't whether Messi will be there. He will. The real question is, can Messi still lead Argentina against teams like France national football team, Spain national football team, and England national football team? Because this isn't 2022 anymore. This is a bigger, tougher 2026 World Cup with 48 teams, more games, more pressure, and a completely different kind of challenge. And at this stage of his career, can Messi make one last run to the final? Let's start analyzing. Let's be real. People keep asking the same question. Is Lionel Messi still at that level? The answer is simple. Yes, he is. He's still performing at an elite level, and winning the 2025 MLS MVP proves that he hasn't just stayed relevant, he's still dominating. If you look at his recent games, it becomes even clearer. In his last stretch of matches with Argentina and Inter Miami CF, he kept producing goals, assists, and decisive moments. His passing is still sharp, his timing is still elite, and even if his dribbling success rate is not like his prime years, that's because his game has changed. He's not trying to run past everyone anymore. Instead, he's playing smarter. Messi now operates more like a second striker or attacking midfielder, focusing on positioning, timing, and finishing rather than constant dribbling. And it's clearly working, because his expected goals per game is still very high, and that shows he's always in the right place at the right time. So if anyone is still judging him based on age, Messi is quietly proving that he's still the man. And if you're worried about his fitness, there's really no need to panic right now. Messi is active, involved, and fully focused on arriving at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the best possible condition. But at the same time, he and his medical team are being very careful. At this stage of his career, everything depends on how his body feels day by day. That means he might skip a few games or play fewer minutes, but that's all part of the plan to keep him fresh and ready for the tournament. There's also something a lot of people don't talk about, his advantage with the weather. Since joining Inter Miami CF in 2023, Messi has been playing in hot and humid conditions in the United States. He's already proven that he can handle extreme heat, heavy travel, and demanding conditions. And that matters a lot in a World Cup hosted across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. That's not just good preparation, that's a real competitive advantage. So, yeah, he's older now, more calm, more selective with his movements. He might not dribble like before, and he doesn't need to, because now he plays smarter, saves energy, and still delivers when it matters the most. And that's why, even in 2026, Messi is still the player who can decide a game on his own. But at the same time, you can't ignore one big thing: the tactics that helped Lionel Messi perform at that level. His performance in the 2022 FIFA World Cup wasn't just hype or individual magic. A huge part of it came from the system built by Lionel Scaloni. In many ways, it was a tactical masterstroke. If you look back at 2018, Messi often had to drop deep just to touch the ball. But in 2022, everything changed. Scaloni basically built a system around him, a kind of protection system, so Messi could stay higher up the pitch and focus on what he does best: creating and finishing chances. Players like Rodrigo de Paul, Alexis Mac Allister, and Enzo Fernandez did the hard work in midfield. They pressed, won the ball back, and covered space, which meant Messi didn't have to waste energy defending. Up front, Julian Alvarez added something special. Instead of just waiting for passes, he constantly pressed defenders, forced mistakes, and created space. That gave Messi more freedom and more opportunities. On top of that, Scaloni kept switching formations between 4-3-3 and 4-4-2, making it hard for opponents to predict Argentina's play. Messi always had options, usually a wide player, a runner, and a striker ahead of him, so he was never isolated. Now looking ahead to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Argentina is still one of the strongest teams in the world, but their style won't be exactly the same. It's going to evolve. In 2022, everything was built around energy, pressing, and emotion. Messi was at the center of it all, scoring, creating, and leading. But by 2026, things will likely be more controlled and tactical. At 38 turning 39 during the tournament, Messi won't be running everywhere. Instead, he'll play a deeper and freer role, more like a playmaker, almost like a quarterback, controlling the game with his vision and passing rather than constant movement. The midfield with players like Enzo Fernandez and Alexis Mac Allister will focus more on controlling possession instead of non-stop pressing. They're more experienced now, calmer on the ball, and better at managing the game. The attack will also look different. Younger, faster players like Alejandro Garnacho, Nico Gonzalez, and other wide options can bring speed and width. They'll stretch defenses and create space, giving Messi more time and freedom to deliver key passes. At the back, players like Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero are becoming more complete defenders, not just stopping attacks but also helping build from the back. Overall, this 2026 squad might actually be deeper and more balanced than the 2022 team. The difference is the role Messi plays. Back then, the team depended heavily on his movement and energy. Now they'll depend more on his intelligence and creativity. There's also a mentality shift. In 2022, Argentina played with emotion and hunger. They were chasing the trophy after a long wait. In 2026, they'll enter as champions with more confidence and control. And honestly, the squad depth now looks even stronger. Players like Alexis Mac Allister, Enzo Fernandez, and Nahuel Molina have improved a lot over the years. With both Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez in strong form and new young talents coming in, the team feels more complete. So, in a way, 2022 was a story of passion and a final mission. But 2026? It could be something bigger, a team built on control, balance, and smart tactics, where Messi is still the brain behind everything. Argentina will most likely use a 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 formation for the World Cup, and their players are perfectly shaped for those systems. In goal, there is Emiliano Martinez, the undisputed number one, a World Cup hero, a clutch performer, and the emotional backbone of the team. Adding depth, you have Geronimo Rulli as the primary backup, with reliable options like Juan Musso and Walter Benitez ready if needed. Then, in defense, the main backline could start with Nahuel Molina at right back, Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez as the center-back pairing, and Nicolas Tagliafico at left back. In the rotation, Gonzalo Montiel and Juan Foyth provide flexibility on the right. In central defense, experienced Nicolas Otamendi leads the backup options, alongside players like Marco Senesi, Facundo Medina, and Nehuen Perez. On the left, Marcos Acuna brings experience, while young energy comes from Valentin Barco. Then, in midfield, the core trio is Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, and Alexis Mac Allister. This is the engine, work rate, control, and creativity combined. Adding depth, Leandro Paredes offers control and experience in the pivot role. Ezequiel Palacios adds energy and balance. Creative options include Thiago Almada, Giovanni Lo Celso, and rising talent Nico Paz. Then, in attack, the front three is led by Lionel Messi, playing a free role, alongside Lautaro Martinez as the main striker and Julian Alvarez, who acts more like a second striker than a winger. On the wings, Matias Soulé brings creativity, while Alejandro Garnacho adds explosive pace. Nicolas Gonzalez offers work rate and balance. Up front, José Manuel Lopez and Lucas Beltrán provide depth as strikers. Even if Messi needs to manage minutes at some point, Julian Alvarez can become the main running force for Argentina. He is now more consistent in Europe, more mature, more dangerous, and tactically, this isn't just a 4-3-3. With Lionel Messi and Julian drifting inside, the system sometimes transforms into a diamond and sometimes into a two-striker setup. It's less about positions and more about controlling the center of the game. For the World Cup, Argentina can clearly expect to top Group J. Their group includes Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. It's not an easy group because Austria can be very disciplined, Algeria can be physical and dangerous, and Jordan will arrive with nothing to lose. But for Argentina, as defending champions, this is a group they should control. And if they finish first, their path to the further rounds gets very interesting. In the round of 32, Argentina as Group J winners would face the runner-up of Group H. That group includes Spain national football team, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Most likely, that could mean Uruguay or another difficult opponent from a very competitive group. A familiar rival would be tough, but manageable. A battle, not a nightmare. Then, in the round of 16, if they get through, the path opens in a way that gives Argentina time to build rhythm. They could face a strong European or South American side depending on how the bracket lands. But the key is this: Argentina don't need to be perfect immediately. They need to grow into the tournament. And that is exactly what Scaloni's teams usually do. However, in the quarterfinal, now things get serious. This is where giants begin to appear. Possible opponents could include teams like Brazil, England, Portugal, or another major contender, depending on how the bracket shifts. This is where the real World Cup begins, and people are waiting because everyone wants one more legendary storyline. Messi against the biggest nations in the world, one last time. If Argentina win there, they reach the semi-final. And if Argentina reach that stage, the biggest names finally collide. We're talking about potential classics against Brazil national football team, France national football team, Spain national football team, or England national football team. Now, it's normal to feel pressure because a semi-final is pure pressure. But this is where Argentina have something different. They have already suffered. They have already won ugly. They have already played finals, penalties, extra time, and hostile games. So you can see the World Cup structure gives Argentina a real chance to grow into the tournament. The group gives them time. The first knockout rounds give them rhythm. And the biggest matches arrive when Messi, Scaloni, and this squad should be fully locked in. For Messi, this is another opportunity. Just imagine winning back-to-back World Cups. If it happens, it will be really unbelievable. But now the conversation has changed. It's no longer, will Messi play the 2026 World Cup? That part is happening. The real question is much bigger. Can Lionel Messi, at 39, lead Argentina to one last impossible ending and become a two-time consecutive World Cup champion? So, what do you think? Is Messi about to write the final chapter of the greatest football story ever?